Oh, oh, here we go. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Throw me a thumbs up if you can hear me. That's ridiculous. I don't know why I can't hear you. 1 second here. You might need to unmute yourself. Huh. You don't have a microphone. Hmm. Connected audio.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Sweet.
Okay. I didn't realize you had to join audio.
Okay. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Can you see the screen too?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's got to stop. That's so annoying. I just connected this
What
thing.
is that?
It's just like going off right now. I've got 540 missed text messages right now. So
Oh,
just
wow.
insane amount of stuff. Some of them are important, some of them aren't. But yeah. Anyway, what are you doing right now? Where are you? I don't know how to fix this background.
I mean, it kind of gives you this Zen feeling, I guess. So,
Yeah.
no,
I,
go ahead.
Sorry, it doesn't matter. Anyways, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say I'm just at work.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, it's lunchtime.
Oh, how long is that?
An hour.
Until so what time do you have? Like 1:30?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Well, so I mean, what exactly do you do while you're sitting there at work? Like once you go back and you're working, what do they have you doing?
I answer phone calls. I do medical charts. I do billing, so I check on insurances and check through that. I make appointments. I fix schedules. I do doctor tasks, doctor messagings. I request records, help patients, clean rooms, things like that.
So mostly things from a computer?
Yeah. Most of the stuff I do is all computer related, but I'm also the receptionist, so I deal with the people checking in, checking out, making appointments for them and stuff too. So.
Would you say that's pretty boring? Does the time go by
It can be.
quick or slow?
Depends on the day. I'll be honest with you. Some days I really enjoy it. Some days I absolutely want it to end.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, looks like I figured out how to fix that stupid thing. So I just got out of the water, so don't mind. I look pretty ridiculous, but anyways, I wanted to go through this thing with you just so you can kind of get a better idea of what Vivint is. Kind of. I mean, obviously the job that I do is very verbal. Sales is a talking thing, so I'm pretty decent at explaining stuff. But some people are visual. So I personally, you could tell me a million things, I would never remember anything. If you write it down and hand it to me, I will never forget it ever again. So, anyways,
Nice.
so we can jump into this thing. You said you can see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you on your phone or on a computer?
I'm on my phone.
Okay, I'll make it a little bit bigger then, so you might lose my face, but that's not that important anyways. Does that look a little better?
Sure.
Okay. So anyways,
Either works.
Yeah, so Vivint is a multi-billion-dollar technology company, obviously, that went public back in January. So that was pretty cool for people that want to build a career. Working at a company that offers stock options alongside being paid pretty well is pretty exciting. So I've been at Vivint for 5 years, and I think I told you how I got recruited, right? Kind of.
A little bit. Yeah, you told me a little briefly about it.
So I was basically, I was 18 years old. I got super lucky because I was going down the wrong path. I think I told you I was gonna fly to, basically I was just gonna leave the country and never come back. And I was going to Morocco, and I don't know, I thought I was gonna be like the Narcos, like next Pablo Escobar selling cocaine or something. Because to me, that makes sense. I was like, okay, the only thing I knew that I could sell was literally drugs. That was the only thing, like outside of working a job, like being a math teacher or working for a garbage truck or working at restaurants or cleaning houses. Those are like the only jobs that existed in my life. And so I was like, well, my dad sold drugs and he was pretty good at it from what I could gather. As long as I don't do them, I should be fine. And so I was gonna go to Morocco and do that. But on the flip side, the funny thing is I have this passion for wanting to help people. And so I wanted to sell the drugs to get the money so that I could help poor people. And it's kind of like a Robin Hood, I guess you could say. I was gonna do something bad,
Yeah.
the greater good. And so I didn't really realize back then that my real passion was just helping people. And that's kind of where I had bought my plane ticket. It was $1,700 to go to Morocco, and I was never going to come back. I got a scholarship to go to school there, and I wasn't actually going to go to school. That was going to pay for everything else. My housing for a year to get me a job until I could make some money, and then I was going to drop everything. And then I got recruited by this kid who came up to me, and he was like, "Hey, man, I made $2,500 last week. You should come work for me." And I was like, "I hate you. I will never talk to you again. You're a dick." And so I ignored him, right? Because I don't like people like that. I don't like people that are ostentatious. Even if you make $1 million, like, you should look poor, in my opinion. I think that it's stupid to try and impress people. So anyways, I kind of dismissed him, but then his buddy came up to me, and his buddy was like stupid. And he came up to me, he goes, "Hey man, I made $1,700 last week. You should come work with me and Patrick." And I was like, all right, well, you're stupid. If you can do it, then I can for sure do it. And so I went to the interview, and I didn't listen to anything this guy said. His name's Isaac Gates. He like talked for a very long time, didn't tell me about Vivint at all. All he told me about was just, and I don't know where you are with this, but he just talked about God and spirituality and having a relationship with your family and basically just giving back and charity, and everything he talked about, I wanted. But he never really, he basically said everything except for what these other two kids said, which was everything except for money, right? And so
Right.
I was really, really drawn to that type of sincerity and that type of, he was just a very genuine human being that wanted to make the world a better place. And so I love that guy. So he's my best friend now. His name's Isaac. He just got promoted, and he's making $1 million, right? So that's a lot of money. And the only reason that that's cool is because this guy gives away over 30% of his income every single year to his church and his charities. And I've seen him give away his car to a person that needed a vehicle. I've seen him give away his clothes. He fed me, he clothed me, and he is like my dad, And so that's where my loyalty to Vivint kind of came about. And within that loyalty, I developed the skill of learning how to sell stuff, right? Because I wanted to impress him. And obviously he gets paid when I sell. And so I was like, the only way he'll pay attention to me is if I sell a lot. And so I'm going to get good at this, and I'm going to get the attention from my dad, right? Whatever. And I'm going to spend time with my new dad. And it worked, right? I copied him. I did everything he said. I copied him word for word, and I got the same exact results as him. I did really well, and I moved up in the company, and then, got promoted. And so this is kind of silly, but I don't know if you've ever heard of this. Have you ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
I have not.
So what it is essentially just what you need in life to be happy. And the only reason why I'm showing you this is because, or not necessarily be happy, but what you need in life just to kind of survive. And so at the very base of it, you need to be able to breathe. You need food. You need water. It sounds silly, but you need sex. You need sleep. And you need to shit. And those are like your basic human necessities, right? Now, Vivint,
Right.
the reason why I'm showing you this is because we sell something that's at the bottom of this pyramid that people need. People need to be able to feel safe. They need to be able to, and I guess for the job, right, we need employment. So when you learn how to do sales, you'll always have a job. And whereas, when you learn how to be, like if you could go get an accounting degree, and realistically, you're very replaceable. Somebody does the same job, except they do it for less money. And so if I can find you and I can find this other accountant, and this other accountant is charging half as much and he needs a job, you got to go, man. Like, I want the cheaper one. You guys do the same stuff. It's not that hard. But when it comes to sales, if you produce revenue for a company and you can do that, just like you can build a business and different things like that, you are invaluable. You cannot be replaced. And so, but the cool thing is what we're selling is we're not selling a luxury item. We're selling something that makes people feel okay, you know? So it's kind of like guns and liquor. During COVID, our sales went up, just like guns and liquor. When bad things happen, security, alarms, liquor, and guns, people buy more. And when the economy is doing awesome, people buy more. So it's a cool product to sell. So that's all I really wanted to show you that for. And then I talked to you about this yesterday, but really what Vivint's doing, and sorry if this is kind of blurry on your screen. I know when this goes through Wi-Fi, it gets kind of crappy, but basically.
No, it looks good.
So what Vivint at your father's home, for example, what Vivint's done is they've given your dad a smart house, so to speak, like a very simplified smart house. But what's really happening under the surface is a deeply integrated home. So for example, when your lights turn off, if you have smart lights, when your lights turn off, your doorbell camera knows that, and so does your thermostat, and so do the locks of your home. Different parts of the home all know what's going on, and so you can make these very complicated commands, so to speak. For example, you drive up to your house, and your garage can open, and the lights can turn on, and the AC can adjust, and it can text a neighbor, right? So you can make this very deeply integrated system, and that's the future, right? And that's what Vivint is at the forefront of. And as crazy as it sounds, if I were to ask you, what are the biggest companies in the world, who would you say?
Apple.
Yep.
Amazon.
Yep.
Microsoft.
Yep.
Can't think of other ones.
One more. You use it every day. It's on the internet. Some people think it is the internet.
On the internet.
It's Rainbow.
Rainbow? What is that? I've never heard that.
Google. So it's actually called Alphabet. So it's Alphabet, it's Microsoft, it's Apple, and Amazon, right? Those are the four big ones. Now, the thing that those four actually have in common, they're all trillion-dollar companies, but the way they became trillion-dollar companies is not because they provide any value. So the way they became billion-dollar companies was by creating something amazing. The way they became trillion-dollar companies was mining your data. And so that's where the most successful companies are. And so now there's this massive cybersecurity issue with all these companies mining your data illegally. They're getting too much information, like TikTok was copying your clipboard and all this crazy stuff. Vivint's done the same thing, just like those companies. But the difference is we actually have an into someone's home. We start with security first, right? So we can knock on a door and we have a reason to come inside. Whereas if Apple knocked on your door, they're trying to sell a luxury product, right? So it's kind of ridiculous to knock on someone's door and try and convince them to spend $2,000 on a product like that, right? Like, you don't need it, you know? Same thing with Microsoft. Like, a lot of people don't even know what Microsoft usually sells. A lot of people, Microsoft is kind of like a software company. And then Amazon is just Walmart on the internet, right? It's this conglomeration of all these different things, but Amazon actually is just kind of a third-party holder. It's a way for, it's kind of like the Silk Road. That's what Amazon really is. It's an online Silk Road of all these products that come together. And then you have Google, which literally provides no value at all. We are the product, right? So Vivint is doing the same exact thing, but the difference with those companies is they sell your data. Vivint doesn't want to sell anyone's data. If Vivint wants to use it, Vivint owns it. And so imagine that Alexa device that's online, right? Or it's inside your home and it's listening and it's gathering all this data and it sells that to other companies to then sell to you. Vivint is doing a similar thing, right? It's gathering data of what the cars look like. It's gathering data of what your face looks like and all those different things. But the only reason we want that is closer to like Apple. Apple doesn't sell your data. Apple keeps it all together so they can control it so that Apple can become better Apple, right? So that's where Vivint is.
Right.
Vivint is the only company that has a reason to be in your house. It's a security system. It's a smart home system. It all requires your home, but your home is private. And the thing that's interesting about a home versus anywhere else in the world is you are who you really are inside your home. And so the data that someone collects inside someone's home is a million times more accurate than the data somebody gathers outside of the home. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So anyways, that data will be used to create appliances, and that data will be used to create grocery services that connect better with your life than like Prime Now or these different grocery services that are being collected, right? So anyways, I said all that to kind of give you an idea for what the future is. And the reason that's valuable for salespeople is salespeople are very scared of change. And in an innovative company, everything is always changing. And so we need to know, okay, what's like the 10-year plan? Where does Vivint want to be 10 years from now? And will I still be needed, right? Otherwise, I need to go sell, something else. So anyways, the cool thing is Vivint is moving into multifamily housing. Vivint is moving into all these different spaces, but they all require us to sell. And so anyways, they can't get rid of us. Now, the cool thing is with the way that I've explained it, and then obviously your bias of your father having Vivint already, you'd probably expect a lot of people to have Vivint already. But funny enough, it's only about it's only about 2% of the United States has Vivint, or has smart home, which is insane. So 2%, which leads 98% of the whole country for us to sell to. And that's valuable for a number of reasons. That means that we can't run out of people to sell to. So that's pretty good. And smart home is expected to become a $100 billion industry, and it's currently at a $10 billion market cap. And so it's awesome because if you jump in, right, and if you have stock in a company that is in technology that hits it off, you can imagine, had you been in Apple 10 years ago and you had stock, it's the same thing, right? So anyways, now the other options, have you ever heard of Ring or Nest before?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you think of some problems with systems that you have to install yourself?
Well, installing it faultily if someone doesn't know what they're doing. If you can install it yourself, someone else can probably uninstall it. I mean, those are the two major ones I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, you can also think there's like an age limit, So let's say, who needs an alarm system more than anybody? I would probably venture to say it'd be a 65-year-old or older, somebody that's retired and still lives at home. And they're the biggest targets for break-ins because people break in and steal their medication. And they're not very tough, It's not like, I don't know if your grandparents are still around, but if you just go push them over, So, wait, hold on. Your grandpa, Grandpa Jay, right?
Yeah, I know Jay.
Do you, okay, you live in Texas, so you probably don't see him very often.
Yeah, last time I saw him was probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
Does he send birthday cards to you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think he knows where I live right now, so.
Really? I would assume you would be closer with that side of the family than I am. I've only talked to Grandpa Jay like one time in my whole life.
Yeah, he's been in my life a lot of times, but since my mom's moved or anything like that, I think I've seen him like a total of 3 times that I remember. So.
Oh wow. I mean, my name's actually Jay, so it's like easy for him to remember, But anyways,
yeah.
So somebody like somebody that's older, right? He's not going to want to install stuff like this, And
right.
People that are older that don't like technology, they get really pissed off at their phones. So I've sold a 99-year-old woman who was, number one, she had a need. She was terrified to live in the neighborhood, but she was more scared of not being able to work the system and getting locked out of her house than she was about actually having it. And so a lot of people want this stuff, but they don't know a way to get it that financially makes sense and that also makes it easy, right? So the equipment being connected together, and they just don't know how to do it, right? And they also end up getting things like, for example, if you got the Ring doorbell camera and the Nest thermostat, that's Amazon's doorbell and it's Google's thermostat, right? So they don't connect at all. And so a lot of people end up with this like crazy complicated thing and nobody wants to use it. So it's annoying and it takes hours to install it. So what Vivint does, we go to the neighborhood, right? So let's say figuratively that you did actually qualify for the team. You wanted to do it over the summertime when you were free and didn't have classes. You would be assigned an area of about 300 houses. You'd go into that area, you'd knock on, you would go to a Vivint first. You'd ask the Vivint, how are they? You can upgrade them and usually lower their bill. So it's a very easy first sale. So you're like, hey, Mr. Sebastian, I see that you have Vivint here. You've had it for quite a long time. I'm here to fix it and lower your bill and give you some new stuff. And they're like, okay. So it's like the easiest deal ever. And the reason Vivint did that was because we just want to re-sign them for another contract, right? So it's the same thing as iPhone. Every year you go get a new freaking phone, or every 2 years, and then you're in another thing, and it just keeps going. It'll never end. But Vivint's contracts are 5 years, so we get them for a little bit longer. But after you get them, or you sell them, you convince them to get the product, we then have a technician come install it within 30 minutes. And so it's like, all right, this is happening. It's done. And then there's no way for them to feel like they made a bad decision because they actually have the product, right? So part of the reason that people like Amazon so much is they can have it now. So have you ever gone on Amazon and you've ordered something and you're like, I want this 2 weeks from now?
I've never used it, but I've seen it.
You've never used Amazon?
No, I mean, I've used Amazon, but you said 2 weeks from. I thought you were talking about like the timing system.
Yeah. No, nobody wants that. Like people want their stuff. Like, why would you do that? I want a TV 2 weeks from now. It costs.
Oh, you're saying, have I ever used it okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like, why would you want to wait? There's no purpose, So people want things and they want them now. That's kind of the society we live in. And part of the reason why it's a good thing for them to have it now is because they don't want to have any time to think about it, right? So if I go buy a Tesla right now and I have to wait 6 months to get it, but I already paid, I'm thinking about that money. I'm not thinking about the Tesla, because I don't have the Tesla. I just no longer have the money. So I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. I need to get that money back. Like
it's like the band right now.
Yeah. So exactly. You spent all this money on stuff. If I had the Tesla right that second, I'm like, whatever. At least I have this fun toy, like this is exciting. And so Vivint same days installs. And so that leads to us having less people want to cancel. And then on top of that, Vivint then takes care of the customer from start to finish. So you sell it, a tech installs it, and then Vivint takes care of them. Whereas ADT, that's not how it works. ADT doesn't sell their own products. Random dealers go around neighborhoods and sell their products. And then those dealers call ADT and say, hey, we have a contract, and they sell you to someone else. So when the customer wants to cancel, they don't know who to call and they can't get out of their contract. So it's a streamlined process to make it easy for a sales rep to learn how to do this. And it just makes everything very easy. So really the advantages of Vivint would be that we do everything from start to finish. And then we build all our own products, right? And on top of that, we're the business model, the way that it's set up with the summer program, it allows us to recruit college kids, train a college kid, make a college kid, $30,000 in the summertime. And then the kid doesn't have to do the work after the summer's over, right? And so it gives someone who's in your position essentially the time off to pursue a degree and not have to actually worry about working and paying for school and not having to take out loans. So the vast majority of my friends, so for you to pay off that debt, I think this next thing right here, let me just jump to it real quick. So for you to pay off the debt that you have, it was essentially like $26,000, and then that's including like living bills and stuff like that. So I kind of came around to the number like $30,000 for a college kid. If you can make $30,000 as a college kid, you're a successful college kid, right? That's like, you're killing it technically. How old are you?
22.
22? Yeah. So 30 grand in college it's a feat. So the way the pay scale works is super simple. Essentially, you just have to sell 60 accounts. It's really 50, but if you sell 60 accounts, then you live in the summer in the apartments for free, and you also made about $30,000 on top of that. So you would be able to pay off all your debt, and you would also have some fun money, and then yeah. So that's how the pay scale works, though. It's literally like a game. Do you play any video games?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
So it's gamified. So let's say that can you see this pretty well?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the very top one where it says under 20. So if you sell under 20 accounts, essentially you make about $400 per sale. And then there's some bonuses right here, which you would get the premium one and you would get the install fee one. So let's just say 510 bucks is how much that account is worth. So if you sell, 19 accounts, it'd be 510 times 19, and that's how much money you make. Does that make sense?
Right.
Now, the reason it's fun is 19 to 20 essentially adds $50 to every single account. So it's like a video game. So let's say you're at 19 accounts. Vivint will text you, hey, Sebastian, you're at 19 accounts. You need one account to make 1,000 extra dollars. And then let's say you're at 99 accounts. That's like right here, 99. That one adds 50 to every account. So you'd get a text message that says, hey, Sebastian, you're at 99 accounts. You need one account to make $5,000. So it's literally like a freaking video game. Now, the funny thing is, a lot of people are only excited about the money up until like 20 accounts. And then after that, they stop paying attention to that. And what they start paying attention to is like the gear and the clothing and stuff. And so it sounds silly, but this hat that I'm wearing is a Vivint hat, as is the shirt, and so are the pants, and so are my shoes. And so it sounds really freaking dumb, but I got this hat for selling 27 in a week. I'm the only rep in the company with this hat. And it sounds stupid, but I care a lot about this hat, and I care a lot more about the hat than I do about the amount of money I made that week, right? So it sounds so dumb, but the things we'll do for the accomplishment and for the ability to say, what we've done. And also I can walk into Vivint where there's like 20,000 employees, and I can wear this hat and everybody knows what this hat is, and that's actually what causes you to sell a lot, right? Because you're just going for these accomplishments and you want to win all the clothing and stuff. So I'll send you a video that kind of better shows like the gear and stuff. But some of the other things that Vivint has done to kind of trick us into working really hard is they allow us to meet a lot of people. So do you watch any podcasts?
I don't really watch podcasts very often.
Or have you know who Shaun White is?
Yeah, I know Shaun White is, yeah.
So every year Vivint pays for like 3 big time speakers to come and talk to us and try to, inspire us, because salespeople are really weirdly emotional. So it doesn't matter how talented you are. If you don't feel like working, it's just not going to work. Like that's just how salespeople are. We don't want to do things we don't want to do. And so the way that they put a lot of personal development towards us. So a lot of leadership courses that Vivint pays for. So they paid Shaun White like $50,000 just to come talk to us and hang out with us. And that was pretty insane because he's an Olympic gold medalist in snowboarding. He's a professional surfer and a professional skateboarder. Like he's like figured something out, And so you got to hang out with him essentially and just ask him how he's doing it. Like, how do you go from one sport to another sport and still beat everybody? And so that was pretty cool. And then John Mayer was cool to meet, and some different concerts and stuff. But probably the most impactful thing that I've ever done is every year Vivint, or every other year. So this is the year that they'll do it again. They do an incentive trip. And so I don't think this probably won't play, but let's see if it does. No, it's not going to play. Yeah, it's not going to play. Anyways, let me see if I can find the screen again. Oh no. Where do we go? Where is she? Are you seeing this this audio only right now?
No, I see you, and then I see just the white screen.
Interesting. All right, 1 second.
You broke it.
I broke it. This is very common. I do this a lot.
You break things a lot?
Yeah, I mean, this is another thing too. A lot of times when people join Vivint, they're like, "Dang, dude, if Jay can do it, anybody can do it." I give people hope. I give people hope.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I may have lost. I may have totally lost. I don't know. You're still here, so I didn't lose Wi-Fi. So that's interesting. Oh, there she is. Do you see it? No, you don't.
I do not.
All right, got it. So, anyways,
oh, I see your mouse now. There you go.
You see the whole thing? I don't know where you went, but anyways, so the coolest thing I've ever done in my entire life was, like I said before, I wanted to help people. And so the charity of the company, every other year we go to another country. So I don't know if you can see my screen here, but we raised $200,000 for these kids to eat. And that was probably one of the coolest things ever because we did it in about 10 minutes with the number of people we had. So in 10 minutes, we fed 200,000 kids for Christmas. And then we went to Thailand and Costa Rica and South Africa to build community centers for disabled children. And we do that every other year. So have you ever done anything like that before outside of work? Any type of charity things that you've ever been?
Not really.
Where?
Uh-oh. Did I lose you?
Hello?
Oh, there you are. Yeah, I see. There we go. No, I haven't really done a whole lot, something like that before. I've done a lot of like volunteering and stuff like that, but
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm referring to. Where have you done that before?
I do it a lot, like sanctuaries. I took part. I have over 100 hours of volunteering service with a place called Enchanted Forest, where we basically educate kids and people about biomes and helping them understand like why we have sanctuaries, why we protect ecosystems and things like that. And then we have like different types of festivals that happen, like Bug Day, and we do a trick or treat haunt down the whole biome and things like that.
So when you say sanctuary, what is a sanctuary?
Sanctuary is a protected part of land that's protected by government or county that is used for either educational purposes, research, or rehabilitation. And basically, it's just different types of ecosystems and biomes that are protected land. So you're not allowed to plant there, you're not allowed to walk your animals there, or anything like that, because the animals that are there are protected. The type of flowers and plants and things that are protected. We have some endangered species, and it's just meant to keep basically save whatever that is around there.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I've been to some of those before. So that's pretty different. How'd you get hired for that?
I walked in, I said I wanted to do it, and they let me.
That's awesome. So your schedule, what does it look like currently right now? So walk me through Monday through Saturday.
Monday through Friday. So Monday through Friday, I mean, it's from 8 a.m. to 5 here. And then on Thursdays after work, it's usually 6 p.m. to midnight is band practice. Mondays and Tuesdays are dedicated to one class after work, but I only spend about 3 hours for class. And then I have the weekend, just depends on what's going on, but most of the time, Sundays, I'll take a time to do another class online. And then if there's any band things going on, we'll talk about them usually on the weekends. But yeah, that's really my schedule.
Got it. So the band is the most flexible right now?
Kind of. Like they have a strict schedule of Thursdays, which we've done, but yeah, for the most part, I mean, that would be probably the most flexible hobby. Yeah.
Got it. So this is kind of what the schedule would look like. It would be a little bit different for you. You said you live in how far from Orlando?
45 minutes,
45.
about an hour.
Okay, cool. So I would plug you in to the Orlando office. We have an office down there so that you could essentially whenever you're free, you would be able to go there. But the main things that I would want to get you to would be to the Jacksonville on your free weeks. So whenever you have a free week of time, there's three different weeks, and they are on these dates. So let me know. I don't know how good you are with the calendar, but let's see, November 30th or November 29th through December 6th. What's your schedule look like that week?
I have one concert on the 27th, but other than that, it's just the job here.
Nice. Is it possible for you to ask off work that week?
I could probably manage that.
Cool. If you can get off that week, I can pretty much guarantee that I can get you $500 to $1,000 that week. That would be the first week you'd be able to try out the team. So the way the team works is you have to have a certain number of sales to qualify for the team, because I can only take out about 25 new people. We've got we've got 13 current people that have done the job before, and they're going to come out and they don't need any attention. But when I bring out 25 people, I have to give, each of those people my time, right? And so I don't want to give you a terrible experience because I'm giving all this attention to, let's say we bring out 30 people and I'm giving all this attention to these 5 guys that are going to quit, and you're actually trying to do the job and you have a terrible experience because of me, right? So 25 is kind of the cap, and we have a lot of people that are already interested in the team. So for you to qualify for the team, you're going to need to have at least 3 sales to come out. I know that sounds really bad, but the first sale is the hardest one, and they get progressively easier over time, right? It's kind of it's like up here, it's like, holy crap, this is impossible. And then you cut it in half like every time, and then it gets easy. And I sell about 2 every single day, and my best week's obviously 27. So and it took me a long time to get my first sale. The average rep takes about 30 hours of knocking. And so essentially November 30th through the 6th, you would shadow me on Monday. So essentially that means you would get in my car, we'd drive out to the area, and you would just follow me around all day, and you'd watch me sell one. And then the next day you would go out and you would try and do it yourself. And we'll train every morning and we'll train every night until you get a sale or 2 or 3, or you're one of the top rookies. And so the average rep, like I said, they sell about 2 or 3 a week, and that comes out to $1,000 to $1,500 a week, which isn't a lot of money, but for college kids working anywhere else, it's usually pretty significant.
Yeah, I mean that's probably more than I make in a week. I may probably make like 800 to 900 a week. So
yeah, so if you were to only make 800 to 900 a week at Vivint, I would blow my brains out. I would consider myself a failure. So the good news is that would put you at the bottom of the food chain. And I know that based off of talking with you, Sebastian, that you don't see yourself as somebody who is the worst at everything. You sound like somebody who's got a growth mindset, that you like learning. And if you're that type of person, along with having, a work ethic, so I can't really judge your work ethic from talking to you, but if you work really, really hard and you actually like learning, then you'll be one of the top reps guaranteed. So the season, it looks like this. So preseason is a good representation of preseason is exactly what you experienced this morning. I'm late. I was in the ocean. You're surfing. You're having fun, and you work like 2 or 3 days a week max. But there's 3 weeks in preseason that you work Monday through Saturday, and that would be the November 29th to December 6th. And you don't really need to worry about the other ones. Just focus on that 1 week. And if I can hang out with you that week, that'll tell you whether or not you're going to want to do this job, right? So if you show up and you do it and you're like, dude, this isn't for me, then I just pick, okay, no worries. It was nice to meet you, cousin. And then, we would probably talk in the future, but that would be you and me hanging out in Florida and getting to know each other a little bit. And then we actually will drive to Georgia and we'll work there for a week. I'll pay for everybody to do something fun, and then I'll send everybody back home. And that's it. If you lived in Jacksonville, preseason looks a little bit different. I would see you Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays every single week. And then we would do those blitzes. Does that make sense?
Right.
So essentially since I can't really do that with you, I would probably just do a Zoom call, like a Zoom training with you on Tuesdays, since you can't make it to the trainings. And then I would plug you in with the Orlando office, and you'll have a little bit more freedom than most people would. And so it's kind of up to you to take advantage of the training that's available. The people that are on the Orlando teams, it's 100% mandatory that they attend the trainings on Wednesdays and that they attend 10 a.m. knocking. But I won't be there, so it's kind of up to you to do that. So then summer season, you're a college student, so it's usually whenever your classes end, which comes out to like May 1st or whatever. So you would work May 1st to the middle of August, and then you go back to classes. So do you graduate this year?
I get an AA this year, yeah.
Okay.
Next year, actually.
Got it. So then, yeah, you would leave like August 16th, unless you wanted to push your classes back, because there's this special season in September called postseason. And it's just it's extended, and extended, you just get paid double on every account. So anyways, that's pretty much that. And none of that really matters. These are just some people that have already done the job, some of my friends. So the training and the way that the season will work is you'll have a ton of online resources. I'll send you some stuff so you can onboard yourself and you can start going through a rookie orientation. It's just some online resources for you to train. So you can watch like a sales video from start to finish, so you can see how somebody says hello to someone at the door and how they go through a full sale, right? And so that's pretty much that. You'll shadow me, and that's pretty much everything. And then over the summer,
Okay.
There's some simple standards. Just, it sounds funny, but just sell and stay positive. This is probably one of the only jobs where you'll see people get fired because I don't like their attitude and they're negative. So you work at a restaurant, or have you worked at a restaurant before?
No.
Nice. So you haven't experienced that. That sucks. But at the receptionist place, right? So sometimes people are negative. They show up and they're like, God, I wish I wasn't at work, or things like that. Do you ever experience that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. They could get fired at Vivint for that. So nobody's allowed to be negative. And it sounds crazy, but if you are brainwashed with positivity, you'll sell a crap ton, right? So anyways, that's pretty much it. So what questions do you really have about anything that I showed you? There's a few more slides. I skipped a bunch, but honestly, it's
no worries. I'm curious, do you guys have any like benefit packages?
benefits.
Yeah. So like big thing, I just got diagnosed with diabetes not too long ago, like probably a month ago. And so that's kind of taken over my life in a sort of way. So I was just kind of curious in terms of like medical benefits, if it were to become a full-time thing, if that was something you guys ever offered.
Well, so my career at Vivint, my rookie year, I could see that have been being a pretty valuable thing if I were to, because I only made about 35 grand my first year at Vivint over the summer. Then the next year I came out, I was still a student and I made 165 grand. And so I dropped out of college. And ever since then, I made about $200,000 for the past 3 years. So medically, I take care of my own. I pay for
You make enough to do it.
Yeah. And so do most people at Vivint. And so that's not, unless you moved into the corporate sector, which for you, I would probably want to plug you in with, I would like you to meet the cybersecurity director of Vivint. His name's Joe Alba, because if that was something that you did really actually want to pursue, if you find like a ton of joy in that, then, you should meet the guy who's in charge of it, So, and then once you're in,
Right.
once you're in there, then you'll receive those type of benefits. But I personally would never choose benefits over income, if that makes sense. So
Right.
essentially, Vivint,
I had another one.
the Vivint Summer is 100% commission job. So we'll teach you how to do taxes so that you don't lose any of that money, and then teach you how to invest it and set you up on a payment plan to get your bills all paid off so that you don't have those bills. Because 30 grand, 26 grand in debt. What was the minimum monthly payments that you have on all that? Like $400 a month every month?
It's about $400 to $500 a month.
Okay, so $500 a month plus rent, which is $800 a month. So that's $1,300 in bills, and you're not getting anything for it, you know? So if we can get all that paid
Right.
off, even if you just did one summer and you got all those bills paid off, then I would consider that a massive success, whether or not you wanted to pursue a career or not. But for me, that's I'm not really thinking 5 years from now. For you right now, I'm just thinking, let's get all your
Help me in the time.
let's get your debt paid off. Let's get you some money so you can do some stuff with the band. I don't know if door-to-door Vivint sales like is going to be your absolute passion. You know, I know you like talking to people and stuff, but like none of us really love door-to-door sales. I love that I
Right.
make a good amount of money. I love that I take 2 to 8 months off every year, and I love that I can help people. So I love the intangible benefits, right? But I don't like the act of getting out of my car and knocking on a stranger's door and interrupting them, you know? So
Right. Right.
the purpose of Vivint is you can make a lot more money very quickly to set yourself up for exactly what you want, right? So for you, in a perfect world, you would come out, you would do Vivint, you would make enough money. I would say probably if you did Vivint, the smartest thing would be a 2-year run with Vivint, unless something changes in that 2-year process. But you do Vivint the first year, you pay off your debts, and you have a little bit of money. And then you do Vivint again, and you make an investment into a house and a property, and it's a rental, and you rent it out, and that pays for your music, and that's it.
Right.
And then if you want to keep doing Vivint because you're like, wow, this is an opportunity that I like, then you keep doing it. And if you don't, then you at least have something that's taking care of your passion, and you don't have to worry about money for debt, and you don't have to worry about money for your hobby. So,
Right. The only other question I had was, I think you answered. I'm pretty sure you answered already, but like, in terms of COVID and things, what is the response with people and actually like answering doors and things like that? Like, how is COVID changing what you're doing?
So I'll give you the there's two sides to that coin. So I mean, just like this world is so politicized right now, like it's weird how much politics is in our lives. And I don't know if it's just because we're in our 20s and like this is how it normally is. Once you get in 20s, you actually start paying attention, or if it's just we're in a weird time in history. But so more people are home, right? Because they can't go to work. So more people are home. The caveat though is more people they're on Zoom calls, but the benefit is their kids are home, and so the parents that don't work have to be home. So
Right.
they're essentially
More doors.
yeah, more people to talk to is always a good thing. You do have to sift through, like you have to probably knock a couple more doors to find people at the right time. But once you get momentum in an area, so let's say on just November 29th, you come to, and again, I would say the thing for you is just shadow me, watch me do the job, see if it's something you can do or want to do. And you'll realize I'm not very special. Like I'm probably not even that great at the job. I just knock a lot of doors. I mean, it is what it is. And then I'm really good at referrals. I'm really good at working area. I'm not that great at the sale. I'm just good at those two things. So like I'll knock a Vivint house and I'll ask that Vivint, who do you know that just got robbed in the neighborhood? And can you text them, I'm coming over to sell them a security system? And then I show up, and then that's my sale for the day. And then I'm like, who do you know that also wants a security system? And then I'll sell their friend. But when it comes to just cold knocking doors just randomly, like that's not something I'm doing, you know, that sucks. But so I don't run into the COVID thing that much, because when I'm setting up that appointment, I'm saying, okay, what's their view on COVID? Should I wear a mask or whatever? And then I just bring a mask everywhere I go. I probably wore my mask 3 times last year out of 179 days of work.
Okay.
And those 3 times I for sure got the sale because I had the mask. Like, these people cared. And I mean, realistically, you really think about it and you're like, okay, I'm in your house. I've talked to 1,000 people today. But yeah, the mask is it's gonna prevent whatever's going on. So it's just, anyways, the doorbell camera prevents COVID from spreading. You don't have to answer your door. So
True. You make the sale from the door.
yeah, I mean, I've sold through the windows before. I've asked for people's phone numbers. I did sell one last year that was pretty funny, where I knocked their door and I stand like 15 feet back so they can't hear me. So they have to come outside and talk. And then once they're outside, I walk up because now they're like stuck talking to me. But the guy was like, don't get closer. And I was like, oh, no worries at all. What's your phone number? And he goes, and he just says his phone number really quick. I take it and I just like, all right, see you later. And I walk like 5 feet away to the curb and I just call and I see him. I turn around and he answers. I was like, hey, I'm with Vivint. He goes, oh, that was pretty clever. So anyway,
there you go.
I would say the response is pretty good. Especially when the riots started to happen, people wanted security more. But we don't sell like that. You know, we don't sell like fear, and we're not trying to make people feel unsafe. Usually, funny enough,
definitely the demographic and market to your advantage.
Yeah, but what we actually do, it's funny. It's a lot of psychology. I will knock on the door and I'll say something along the lines of, hey, I know you don't need this. This is a super safe neighborhood. Nothing bad would ever happen. And they go, well, I don't know about that. Like, some guy just got murdered, like COVID and Antifa, and I'm probably going to die. Like, I shouldn't have cut that guy off in traffic today. And they just argue with you, but they argue towards the alarm. And you're like, dude, I don't know, man. It looks pretty nice out here. And they just continue to argue with you towards the sale. And they don't know what you're doing, but that's just psychology, you know? And so that's what makes somebody like you would enjoy that side of the job. And you're doing something good. You know, you're making people feel good when they get to go to sleep at night and they're not scared their daughter's going to get kidnapped, you know? And so it's a cool feeling. And then you're selling a fun product. So that's cool. So anyways, I would say, if you can come November 6th or 7th to shadow me, then you're more than welcome. If you can't,
it was November 6th to 7th to what again?
No. This is the soonest I'm going to start working. So this is the first day I will drive out to a neighborhood and knock on doors. This would just be like a 1-day thing.
Okay.
But November 29th to December 6th, you would actually get the chance to make money. So if you're like, hey man, I can't take off Friday or Saturday, like I cannot miss work, unless I have an opportunity to make money, then you should just November 29th to December 6th. So I don't know how like in the hole you are right now, but November 29th to December 6th, I can make you money, and train you and hang out with you. November 6th or 7th, I cannot make you money, but we can hang out.
Right. Okay. I can do that.
Yeah. So it's up to you. The sooner you want to find out if you want to do this job, the better, because you don't want to spend time training and stuff if you absolutely hate it, you know? So.
Right.
But it is fun. If you like psychology and you like video games and you don't mind walking around, then you'll be fun.
I love meeting people. So, I mean, it's not, I've almost done door-to-door sales multiple times. I just have been always hesitant because I've had a guaranteed income for my whole life, and I've only gone up from every income. So It's kind of one of the opportunities where it's a risk for me, but at the same time,
with anything that has a great risk, there's always a massive reward. So,
right,
if you succeed. What were the other door-to-door companies?
Oh gosh, one was Costco.
Really? What do they do door-to-door? I've never heard that.
They sell kitchen utilities or kitchen supplies.
Is that serious?
Like stainless steel knives. Most of it was selling knives, like actual like kitchen knives and things like that.
Costco or Cutco?
Or Cutco, sorry, not Costco.
Okay. Yeah, so we have one of our best managers at Vivint. This past year, he made just a stupid amount of money. Like, I don't even want to say it because it sounds stupid, but he did Cutco, and he was the absolute best in the entire world. Made 100 grand. Came to
He's
Vivint,
probably making triple that.
dude. Came to Vivint, and this guy, in his first 3 months, made 130 grand. This guy is a monster, dude. So this guy,
Crazy.
his name's John. He's one of my best friends. He isn't a human. Like, he literally doesn't care about. He doesn't feel emotions. I swear to God, it's the weird. But he's so like good at selling. It's insane. He doesn't. You could yell at him, scream at him. Like, he doesn't feel anything. He's a sociopath. He could probably kill
He
you.
can murder someone and not care.
He could. I feel like he has, the way he talks about people. But anyways, but he's also, weirdly enough, he's a good person. He gives a lot to charity, and he runs the best team. He's literally ran the number one team in Vivint 3 years in a row. And this past year, he came in third in the whole company. And the only reason he came in third is because he broke off every single rep in his team to a manager. And so he rebuilt the whole team again and still got third. And it's just insane. So this guy was in a competition in Cutco. And during that competition in Cutco, he needed 12 sales to win. And the most anybody had ever done in the company was like 3 in a day. Right. So this guy needed 12 to win this competition against another one of my friends named Brian Rabbit, who's a legend in sales too. And so anyways, he needs 12 sales. He knocks on this door at literally like 1 a.m. Right. So and you're not even supposed to knock on doors. Like, that's not how you sell knives usually. And so it's turned into door to door, which is crazy. But he's knocks on this guy's door. It's a professional football player. And he sells the guy, and he goes, "Hey man, I need every single person. Like, we're going to win. We're going to win this thing." And this guy convinced his sale to call everyone in his family and bring over 15 people to the house to do a presentation on knives. And he sold 12 sets, and he won the competition at like 2 a.m. Just like
That's funny.
Yeah. Anyways, I think I kept you way longer than I probably should. You're probably going to get fired.
No, we don't have that many patients today, so I'm not too worried. Which is, Fridays and Tuesdays are good days for me to do things like this. So
Nice. So do you have any other questions other than that?
not that I can think of at the moment. I think if I think of any, I'll definitely hit you up and ask you. But my biggest concern was just medical expenses, because I need insulin now to live.
The good news is,
and
I don't know who you're voting for, but price of insulin, didn't it significantly just go down?
yes, but there's a catch to it.
Oh, really?
So like it's only by vial. It's a certain kind, and that kind I can't take.
What? Why? Are you allergic or something?
Well, one, I've never. No, it's because it's the way that the way I have to take my insulin is not by vial, it's by pen. So it's pre-synthesized and medicated out. So it's got like basically how many doses I'm supposed to take. That kind, it's more dangerous to use because you have to draw it yourself, and there's a chance that you can overdraw, which can either kill you, or underdraw, which can still kill you. And I forget, but it's a certain kind too that also it's harder to, what's the word, process in your body, as so to say.
Yeah.
So there's still like a process with that, like getting that. But
Got it. Yeah, I didn't know that. The reason I was asking is because I actually have a buddy who worked with me 2 years at Vivint, and he had diabetes. He had type 1, I think.
yeah,
I don't know. Which one did you get diagnosed with?
type 1.
Type 1. So that's like the what's the difference?
Insulin dependent. Type 2 is insulin resistant. So type 1 is you have to have insulin to live. Type 2 is your body just doesn't produce enough.
Got it. Yeah. So basically you could die.
Yeah.
How did you just find that out? Like, did you just feel sick, or?
Well, I couldn't wake up one morning and I ended up peeing the bed, which was a big major sign. Constant thirst because my body was dehydrating itself constantly to flush out sugar, and just constant fatigue. And I would drink water like it was nothing. Like I would just constantly drink it. I would be full and still drinking. I'd probably drink like 2 gallons a day.
Holy crap. Dang. Yeah, he had a few different things. He had like the patch, like with it was stuck in his side like all the time. Um,
Pump.
yeah, he had a pump, and he had a pump since I knew him like in like 8 years old. And I was like, "What's that?" You know, because you're a little kid. He's like, that's how I live." And I was like, "What?" I went home and I asked my mom for one. I was like, "Hey, mom, I don't want to have to eat anymore. Can I get a pump?" And she had no idea what I was talking about, obviously, because I sounded crazy. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's a great example of someone who did Vivint, and he just always brought a lunch, and he wore like a. It sounds so dumb, but we wear fanny packs on the doors. The dumber you can look, the more you'll sell. And so you can just carry. You got your insulin.
Yeah, there you go.
So what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna send you. You're gonna receive a text message, not in the Facebook. That's a separate thing. It's called Date with Dynasty. So everybody that wants to join the team, they do Date with Dynasty, and it's just some tasks that you have to complete. If you click or you read through it, it's pretty simple. One's like if you click it, it'll join you into the calendar. You have an Android, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to download Google Calendar and just merge them together.
Oh yeah, I use it all the time.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, just click that, get that in there, and then you can see all the events and everything. And then, but yeah, so you're just gonna fill the onboarding agreements out. It doesn't say that you're coming out for Vivint. Essentially, all it does is give you access to the trainings. And then if you have any questions, you can just give me a call anytime. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, brother. Let me know this as soon as you can, whether or not you can make it to Jacksonville, November 29th to the 6th.
Okay. Yeah, I should be able to, but I'll give you the final say.
Cool, brother. All right. Well, give me a call if you need me.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right. See ya.